All right, we are back again with another episode of this Ottawa Senators franchise mode series. Busy episode ahead here as we begin a new season. A lot of things to figure out in the aftermath of the last episode where we went a little bit crazy in free agency. Which actually leads me to, I wanted to do this before we jump into this episode, leads me to your comments, which, yeah, this is a hell of a lot easier than just copy and pasting the comments and editing it on there. So, hey, here you go. A little bit of the behind-the-scenes view of old YouTube studio. To Brian Ferris and others who left the comments in terms of like, oh, get rid of Smith and Bjorkstrand. Yeah, the issue with that is obviously I'm going to get the warning for moving players a bit too soon after signing them. So, for the first month or so, yeah, Bjorkstrand and Riley Smith are screwed. They're going to be stuck there for a minute, which is fine because hopefully they'll take a bit of a morale hit and I won't be able to get as good of a return for them. So that's kind of the game plan there. And there were other comments as well in relation to Anthony Duclair. The good thing is about Duclair, right, is we can keep him for the moment. He was the best fit for the team. If he struggles, Batherson, Balser, Schlappick, they're all there, right? So it works out quite well for us in that way. This question was completely off the beaten path here, completely different. But, who would you get rid of on the Leafs to make room for a defenseman? Here's the good thing about the Leafs. You have players you can get rid of. I mean, you're going to be losing Tyson Barrie more than likely, but Cece's deal is up, Barrie's deal is up. You get that cap space. You try to probably get rid of Janssen, Kerfoot, or Kapanen. You don't have the most amount of draft picks to move, this year at least. Look at those sevenths, though. Kyle Dubas, NHL pick hoarder. There's at least room for the Leafs to go out and get somebody. But, yeah. I don't know what I'd do there, because, I mean, you have Sandin, you have Liljegren. Dermott's going to need a new deal, and he's not going to get as much money as he needed. I think that situation's just going to work itself out, to be honest, for Toronto. And I think that was pretty much, there were others. Oh, there was another one here. In regards to Taylor Hall being captain. Now, I can't guarantee you or promise you that it does anything, but the reason why Taylor Hall is our captain is because he is the only defined locker room leader on this team. So I gave him the captaincy. That's why. I mean, again, the alternates are Chabot and Tkachuk. But I think especially, too, with what Taylor Hall has done, especially in the playoffs since he's gotten here, Taylor Hall deserves to be our captain. So before we get into simming this season, because you guys hate me, we have to do our Melnick interference wheel spins, the controversy wheel, as we've called it. We need to figure out what months these controversies are happening in. And then we'll figure out what happens from there and who goes, and that way I can't prep for it. So there will be a controversy in March, on March 1st, and there will be a controversy in November. So November and March is when we will see these other wheel spins go down, and hopefully it's not that detrimental to the team. Last year we got very lucky with it being AHL players that were moved on from. So again, one more look at this team. It is the finalized version of this team that's going to start the season. Obviously the AHL club as well should be pretty good, but we have numerous +5s on this roster. I'm excited to see what they can do, and I mean the big thing here is Darcy Kemper. We end up signing him for that 2-year contract at under $4 million, the top goaltending option on the free agent list. Time for him to put up or shut up. We've had some inconsistent goaltending over the years, so we'll see what happens there. And of course, this AHL team is stacked for the most part. I mean, absolutely stacked. They should be a playoff team, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously, it kind of sucks. Like, Nikita Zaitsev, we're burying that contract, but he's a much better fit for the AHL team. He really doesn't fit in with the NHL team at all. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, that's a tough contract to give up, and I don't really want to give up any of our prospects to move on from him. I think Mad Sjogard went up in height from 6'6" to 6'7", by the way, so that's crazy. He's a monster. We're good to go. We are good to go. So let's go ahead, sit to the start of the regular season, and we'll see what happens from here in terms of just how well we're going to start this season, because the thing to remember, of course, is that something is going to go down in November that is going to prove to be, I'm sure, extremely, extremely detrimental. So we should be good to go here. Let's take a look and see what happens. So we start off our season against the Rangers, and actually I want to make sure I'm going to keep auto rotate off. I really liked how we were able to control everything last year, so let's get those sliders on. And again, I will make a video eventually about the slider set. It's a modified version of the I think it's Cycloniac's True Sim sliders on Operation Sports, but like I said, I'll get a video done about that eventually one of these days. So let's see what happens here. Kemper will get the first 2 games of the season. Justin Stepan down in Belleville picks up an injury, but we do beat the Rangers, so good news there. And of course, with Stepan out, that does mean that Riley Smith or Bjorkstrand would have drawn into the lineup. So hey, hell of an option to have coming off the, or I was going to say off the bench, coming out of the press box for the AHL side of things. Philip Gustafson. You weren't great in the AHL last year. You do start off your NHL campaign with a win, though, so that's fairly impressive and something that was desperately needed. As, again, there's quite a bit of pressure on his shoulders. Ivan Prosvetov is there and can push for a backup role if, you know, the opportunity isn't taken advantage of there by Kemper. Of course, the AHL, I really wish you could have NHL auto-rotate, AHL auto-rotate. Mark Borowiecki fractures his jaw, so that absolutely sucks. And Philip Schlapper goes down to a pulled groin. All right, whole lot of injuries. Justin Stepan is back, though. So let's get Bonvie out of... Actually, no, let's not get Bonvie out of there. I think it would be Riley Smith sitting out for Stepan, if I'm not mistaken. Stepan... I don't remember where Stepan was playing. That's the issue. Let's just have him replace Bjorkvist. I mean, he is a... Or Bjorkstrand. Bjorkvist? Not Bjorkvist, Bjorkstrand. And let's get Shaw a little bit of time. First 4 games for Sjogard, he was phenomenal for Belleville. Not surprising, he was the better of the 2 goaltenders last year for the majority of the season. As we finally lose a game, lose our first game to Florida. Naslin's back to 100% for the AHL. Let's see what else we have here. Toronto, back-to-back losses. That means we're going to get to see Philip Gustafson. He's going to get the opportunity here to steal the starting job away from one Darcy Kemper. Still has a .924 on the season, but back-to-back losses means, yeah, you're taking a seat for the moment. Buffalo, we lose. Oh boy, that's 3 in a row. That erases a strong start to the season. We're only 7 games in, but, you know, should be fine. They really do need to make an easier way to just flip those around, but that's okay. Tampa's next. Marcus Phillips goes down to an injury in Belleville. That's unfortunate. Tampa, can we snap this losing streak? No, we can't. Ugh. Kemper will get another game. He wins that one, thank God. So I thought we were going to be off to a ridiculous start, but 1-4 in our last 5 games kind of erases that. But we still have a long way to go, as we lose to Dallas as well. 5-5 now, and that sets us up. We have 1 more game before moving into the next month. I need to make sure that Boro's back in the lineup, though. And at the end of the first month here, we'll take a look actually at some of the stats. I do want to get Gustafson a game here because Darcy's not exactly running away with it. Oof. Okay, so Sjogard's clearly the superior goaltender in the AHL right now, and then Riley Smith will take a seat for one Philip Schlappick. Beautiful. So 1 more game this month, and then we get to find out the controversy. Already. 7-6 overtime win. 6-5 to start the season. But now, something is going to go down. And I don't know what. We are going to lose again either an NHL player, an AHL player, a scout, or a coach. Who is it going to be? It is going to be an NHL player. Oh boy. We are losing an NHL player right here and right now due to the controversy wheel. It'll either be a Brady Tkachuk. Oh, this sucks. Brady Tkachuk, Colin White, we'll go Lafreniere, Formanton, Nemesnikov, we have Taylor Hall, Duclair, Norris, Brown, Castellet, Parker Kelly, good old, I don't want the search feature, what are you doing? Scott Sabourin. On the defensive side of things, it's going to be Bernard Docker, not Bernard DeCoker. Bernard Docker, Chabot, Borowiecki. Oh, dude, this sucks. Bradstrom. I don't want to lose any of these defensemen. Oh, my God. Gustafsson, Kemper. No healthy scratches. It has to be people in the actual lineup. We are losing one of those players right here and right now. Who are we losing? Ooh, okay, Parker Kelly. Oh my God. I thought it was going to slow down on Bernard Docker. So that's not any more fun. But we are losing fourth line center and +5 on the fourth line, Parker Kelly. Which again, still just absolutely blows. He hasn't had as strong of a start to this season, but still, that could have gone better. Oh, man. Alright, so the story for one Parker Kelly, as we randomize at the story, for one Parker Kelly. Now, the random suggestion doesn't quite work, but, oh, God. You know, I can, the original story was, had to do with the coaching staff and the scouting department, but we can rework it, into, Eugene Melnyk is getting sued by another casino, and, you know, needs a little bit of extra cash. So we are cutting Parker Kelly's contract because he can get away with actually cutting Parker Kelly's contract. He might not be able to get away with cutting anybody else's. But Parker Kelly is gone because Eugene Melnyk is getting sued by another casino. Again, if you have suggestions for some of these scenarios, let me know down in the comments. But make sure, of course, to have it be... I mean, you can have it be based off of, you know, like a scouting department thing, or you can have it be more generalized so that it could fit a player, coach, or scout. But yeah, we just kind of generalized it to that point. And because Eugene Melnyk is having more trouble with another casino, Parker Kelly's got to go. All right. I mean, it's not the worst change in the world, but I really did like that fourth line. Parker, I mean, undrafted player, doing pretty well for us. Had 29 points last year. But Parker Kelly is gone. The question is, can I get anything for him? I can't, so we're going to have to look to pair him into a different deal. So what we're going to do is we are still going to look to shop the likes of Bjorkstrand, who I know just doesn't fit in on the fourth line. Now, you could argue with, like, Bjorkstrand. I don't think I want to get, like, a maximum return on Bjorkstrand. Because, let's be honest, in this scenario, like, a team wouldn't be willing to pay that much. There are 8 teams that want him. Buffalo, Minnesota, Nashville, and the Islanders. I'd prefer to trade him out west. So it's got to be Nashville or Minnesota. Right. And they both are just like, yeah, hey, massive contracts, take them. So it's going to be Nashville or Minnesota that we send Bjorkstrand to. And from the looks of it, I'm not actually sure who it's going to be. We're going to try to tack on Parker Kelly to this deal as well. And what can I, or who can I take back in this deal. Man, they're trying to trade away Roman Josi. That's crazy. Let's see. Someone who kind of fits the bill. I mean, right now I could afford about $1 million contract, so this might actually be a tough deal to get done here. Like Austin Watson could be a decent little fit. Nola Chari as well. Like I said, I don't really want to take back any really good players in this deal because that kind of defeats the purpose. So we are looking at like a Thomas Novak, who will probably end up being in the minors. Give me like a Thomas Novak and a Yeryomenko maybe? Who do you have way down here in terms of salary? Curtis Lazar. Will that work? No, they'll be over the cap. Let me retain on Bjorkstrand then. 50%, there we go. Alright, so technically I am going to be over the 76 million, but it's not because I made my team better. This is kind of my punishment. I think that's allowed, right? Like, I didn't make my team better. I'm just retaining salary. Although, hold on. Let me see if I can get this deal done with Minnesota instead. No need to bend the rule for the moment. Minnesota, kind of in the same spot. 800K over. Who do the Wild have? Ryan Suter, no thank you. They signed Ristolainen. Jesus. Man, they are just looking to fire sale their defense right now. I'll take Matthew Perreault and just play him in the minors. That's pretty much perfect. It basically offsets the cap and keeps me below my limit. So we'll take Matthew Perreault, and let's add another forward so that we have a good amount of depth in the minors. And who can we take here that's on an expiring deal? Rocco Grimaldi. Will Bitten. See if we can get Rocco. So we get rid of Parker Kelly because we have to. We get rid of Bjorkstrand because we have to. I'm intentionally going to lose out on this deal because I don't want to benefit from signing a free agent and just flipping him. Give me a fourth. Give me a fourth. I'm willing to just get robbed in this deal. So basically, it's Parker Kelly for the fourth, and we get rid of Bjorkstrand to Minnesota because, let's be honest, they wouldn't really give up that much for him. So, although I just realized how much Rocco's getting paid. Jesus. Like, I like Rocco Grimaldi a lot, but why are you paying him that much money? Why would you do such a thing? Instead, Sokolov's a bit too good. A lot of these guys are a bit too good. They are trying to get rid of Anderson. Wow, okay. You're making this deal difficult for no reason here, Minnesota, with your roster the way it is. I'll take Fedor Gurdiev forever. There we go. So Matthew Perreault just to offset the cap. Parker Kelly a fourth. Fedor Gurdiev. Let's just do it. There you go, Minnesota. Congratulations. And that way we do right by Bjorkstrand to send him to some team that actually wants him. It makes sense. And then we'll send down Fedor Gurdiev. He's waiver eligible. Yeah, I had a feeling he'd make it. And then forward-wise, we are going to have to figure out who replaces Parker Kelly. It might very well be Matthew Perreault. We're at least... Oh, God, it automatically sent down Sabrin here. We're just going to have to go best lines anyway. I'll have to fix that a little bit. I still want to get rid of Riley Smith. So, back to the old trade finder. Because we're not going to play Riley Smith on the fourth line. So, let's find a trade for Riley. Let's see who wants him. Nashville, Pittsburgh, San Jose... Either way, this is going to be difficult because of the cap. Let me see if I can work him to San Jose. Get him back into the Western Conference. Oof, probably not. It's going to have to be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's like the perfect place in terms of the cap. And Jake Gensel's turned into a beast at this point, too. They still have David Warsofsky, huh? Fair enough. We'll take back O'Connor. Or Jordy Bellerive. So yeah, again, we're just going to give up Riley Smith as if we never even signed him. I don't want to cheese it and get him ridiculous value. We'll go a fourth and Bellerive for Riley Smith. And just give them a ridiculous deal. So Kelly's gone. We've done right by Riley Smith and Bjorkstrand to send them out to teams that actually wanted them. And for now, I'd say we're about even. We're about even. We're where we should be. So thank God we avoided a major disaster. So Bellerive is going to be sent down. Right here we have 10, 11, 12 with Perreault. So we're going to send down Perreault. I'm going to call up Sabourin. Actually, let's see how good Perreault is on the fourth line, but we are still going to call up Sabourin. And, you know, I might do right by Pavel Buchnevich as well, because he wouldn't be overly happy about being a healthy scratch in this situation. Let's do right by Pavel Buchnevich as well. I don't know. I just feel like it's the right move to get rid of these players that would be absolutely demanding a trade if I put them into these situations. So Anaheim, Buffalo, Colorado, Dallas. A lot of interest. Let's see what we can do for Anaheim. I don't want to get Eric Branson. So Anaheim, that's going to be tough to afford. Arizona is going to be tough to afford. Colorado, Dallas works. Dallas works. Let's get a forward back in return. Brian Boyle is a veteran. Yeah, let's bring in Brian Boyle. We'll play him in the NHL. Or just keep Brian Boyle as a healthy scratch. It's pretty much perfect. It's pretty much perfect. And we'll get another fourth round back. So, there we go. In terms of the guys that we signed that we didn't end up using in the role that we thought they were going to use them in, we get rid of them. We do right by them. And, of course, Anthony Duclair was the one that we decided to keep out of all of that. So now, I think we keep the roster the way it is, because if I call up any of those guys in the AHL and they don't end up playing, then we're screwed, right? We're absolutely screwed. So it kind of makes sense to go about it this way. Let's see here. Who is a better fit for the fourth line, Perreault or Boyle? All right, Matthew Perreault is going to be sent down because he is a horrible fit for this team. So he'll spend the rest of the season in the AHL. It's much more acceptable and not exactly cheap to just send down Matthew Perreault at this point. So we'd be under the cap if I send him down. So we have to call somebody up. Minimum salary is 71. Oh, so we'd be like $55K under the salary floor. Like I said, I don't want to risk calling these guys up and having to send them down and put them through waivers. But I can't see how good they fit on the fourth line from here. You see my conundrum. I can call them up and then have to play them on the fourth line. It kind of sucks. Like, I should be able to see how good of a fit they're going to be for the fourth line, but I can't. All I can see is how good of a fit they are for the AHL. So I have a way to call them up. It's obviously put Boyle, Perreault, and Sabourin through waivers, which they should all clear, and then call these other guys up. You know, I think it's kind of... I don't want to ruin the AHL's chance, but I think it's kind of make or break to see if these guys are going to make it. But again, like, Balcers in a fourth-line role doesn't really fit. Even Batherson in the fourth-line role really doesn't fit. So we're going to go Kastelic, Boyle, and Sabourin. And I guess... Who do we want as a healthy scratch? I mean, Balcers is 25. Batherson's 24. Schlappick's 25. Abramoff. I don't really know who the right person to call up here is. It's a rough spot to be in. A very rough spot to be in. Let's leave Perreault there for the moment, because we do have a little bit of cap space to work with, and I can see who's out there in terms of free agents. So let's get Perreault out of the lineup. Get Scott Sabourin back in there. And if we make Boyle a grinder, that line should actually be pretty good. All right. So there we go. Back to where we were. Perfect. So we haven't even gotten a chance to look at this team through the first month of the season. But obviously a lot has changed for this roster already. There's Bellerive, Gurdiev. Yeah, we do need another forward or two on this roster now. Let's go see what the free agent list has to offer. But, oh no, I feel good about that. I mean, I think you kind of tell in the last episode, I was like, damn, I wish that many people didn't sign. So, it did work itself out, thankfully. So, in terms of free agents, I mean, there are decent little options here. Matt Martin, Stefan Nason, Carlson, Paquette, Larson, Tomas Nosek, who we've used a lot this year because he's a pretty good fourth liner. So just to take a look. Just to take a look here at who I think might fit the fourth line the best. And unfortunately, none of these guys apparently fit our fourth line. Or at least we have no idea how well they fit our fourth line. So that's a bit problematic. And again, we don't really need someone on the fourth line. We need someone who's well-rounded as a two-way. So whoever the best two-way forward is that can also take face-offs is who we should be looking at amongst this group. So Melker Karlsson, pretty solid. Paquette with 83 face-offs. 84 for Nosek, but again, we're not going to use them. Okay, I mean, it is out of the group of centers. Let us go for, I'm thinking Paquette and Melker Karlsson, because Karlsson's a righty. So let's sign Cedric, let's sign one Melker Karlsson, and we should be back on track. Hopefully. Potentially. We'll advance a day or two. We play the Rangers next after those roster moves. Borowiecki is injured again. Ugh. We do beat New York in that game, though. Philly, which we still await an answer. Nikita Zaitsev herniates a disc. He's out until February. Jesus. Karlsson and Paquette both signed, but that's a pretty big loss for Belleville to lose Nikita Zaitsev there. Damn. So Borowiecki is out. We need to swap one Matthew Perreault for Karlsson and Paquette and see who fits the team the best, who can play on the majority of lines, and then we'll figure out who stays, who goes. So let's get Cedric here. Cedric's a really good fit for every line except for the second line. And Melker Karlsson is a good fit for every line except for the first line. I think Melker wins. I think Melker wins. You could argue who actually should be on the fourth line here, though. Paquette. It's still going to be Brian Boyle. But yeah, I think we're going to send down Cedric Paquette. And then we have our answer. Melker Karlsson will be the new healthy scratch on that line. So Paquette will go down. And that gets the AHL a little bit of extra depth they needed. And we are going to call up Fedor Gurdiev to be a healthy scratch at the NHL side of things in case there's another injury to a defenseman. So again, the NHL lineups are good. I still need to switch Brian Boyle to a grinder. And then Lyubushkin's not as good of a fit until I make him a DFD with Brandstrom, and then it'll be great. Brandstrom's better than Chabot at this point, which is absolutely crazy. And then Gustafsson is still there as the backup, but he's struggled as of late. So we're going to have to go best lines in the AHL. It might, and it did, absolutely obliterate the chemistries. Ugh. That's a rough time. That is a rough time. We'll have to try and make those as good as we can here. Down the road. Oh boy. Well, that kind of fixes the... Yeah, sure. I'm going to have to rework all of those, of course. But the changes to the team, and the moves that we had to make didn't exactly help there on that front. Now, I do want to get through one more month worth of simming. We'll see if we pull that off. Depends on how bad the injury bug decides to be here. Let's make Brian Boyle a grinder. Rather than a power forward, we'll get that extra chemistry in there. Thank God we only lost Parker Kelly. But man, losing Parker Kelly and then deciding to do right by, Bushnevich, Smith, Bjorkstrand caused a lot more roster movement than I thought we would see. But it is what it is. And that will tell Yabushkin to be a little bit more defensive, just redefine his role. There are still people who think, no, this is cheating. And I, again, will always vehemently disagree. It's literally the nature of a coach to be like, hey, this player, you're playing this way. And, sometimes it works. Sometimes you tell a player to play with a little bit more grit and intensity, and it works really well for them. Other times, you're John Tortorella, and you tell the Sedins to block shots, and it doesn't work out well for you when you get fired. So, you see how it is. But there we go. We retain the +5s on the fourth line in the second defense pairing. San Jose is next. See what we can do here against the Shacks. So we can see Marcus Phillips come back from injury. We lose to San Jose. It's 2 losses in a row. Let's go ahead and get Philip Gustafsson another set of games. And we'll get Shaw back in over Sjogard. Basically, whenever I change the goaltending for the NHL, I'm going to change it for the AHL. So let's see what happens here. If Gustafsson gets the win, he'll get another game. Oh, menu lag, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. If he wins, he'll get to play Washington. Borowiecki is back. It's good news for us. So Fedor Gurdiev, oh my God, the menu lag. Fedor Gurdiev forever gets to go back to the minors. And it didn't look like Borowiecki is 100% healthy. He's not, even though I have it set to only tell me when players are 100% healthy. Logan Brown, having some spasm issues, is going to be out for the majority of the month, and we get shut out 3-0. Max Lajoie is bitching about ice time, even though he's not in that role, so figure that one out. So Melker Karlsson draws into the lineup on the third line. Works for me. We'll take Lyubushkin out for Borowiecki, who should be back to 100%. He's not, but he should be by the time the game rolls around. We'll actually leave Ashton Shaw in as the starter. To be honest, I should have just left Gustafsson in, but we needed to get Boro back into the lineup anyway. Cam Dineen fractures his elbow. Jesus Christ, the injuries right now have been devastating. We play Washington. They're struggling as well. Boro gets hurt again. Guys, I think we need to have a conversation about the future of Mark Borowiecki on this team. Because the man cannot stay healthy. He's walking around like the glass fish from SpongeBob, and it's a major problem right now. As we play the Islanders, and Eric Brandstrom suffers a concussion. So the injury bug is biting incredibly hard right now. Whew. Let's call up Johnny Tyconic and Fedor Gurdiev, and Johnny will be making his NHL debut in these next set of games. And with Logan Brown hurt, let's also call up Cedric Paquette as a healthy scratch in case more injuries happen. So, maybe we'll just get a look at the stats for this stage of the season, and then I have some work to do in terms of setting up this roster. Man, Johnny Tyconic's a perfect fit for that line too. So if we make him an OFD, he's going to be perfect. Yeah, if we make him an OFD, he's going to be a perfect fit there. And then goalie-wise, I mean, Gustafsson's running out of time. He is running out of time to prove that he should be in over Prosvetov. So you know what, here, we'll go best lines. I have some stuff to fix anyway with this lineup, especially down in the AHL with all the crazy amount of changes that have happened as we lost 5-0 to the New York Islanders. So as it stands right now, we are currently not in a playoff spot. Tampa's only played 13 games. That's insanity. But the 13-4 Maple Leafs right now running away with this division, and flat out we have been underperforming compared to what this roster is set up as. We have absolutely been underperforming. Goals for per game, we're somewhere mid-table. Goals against per game, mid-table team as well. Our power play, good lord, Vegas has 1 power play goal in 38 attempts. Our power play, mid-table, and our penalty kill, mid-table. So we're just a bang average team right now through the early stages of the regular season. But you get a look here, like Brady Tkachuk doing pretty well. Happy with White. I mean, Taylor Hall and Lafreniere have probably slightly been underperforming. Formanton's been okay. Josh Norris, Brown, Anthony Duclair might be on the way out. Let me know what you guys think. I think we have a decision to make with Duclair. Kastelik on the 4th line along with Sabrin. They just haven't been good. Brian Boyle hasn't been good on that 4th line. The bottom 6 has really struggled here through nearly the first quarter of this season. Chabot and Brandstrom are doing well. Nobody else is really doing all that well. And Ilya Lyabushkin has been pretty poor on that second pairing. The problem is that Mark Borowiecki's played 7 of 17 games due to injury. So I think we have a decision to make in terms of depth defensemen at this point, and maybe we move Borowiecki into a depth role instead of being on that second pairing. It's the last year of his contract. And then goaltending-wise, Gustafsson, how much more of an opportunity does he get before Prosvetov takes over? So already we have some pretty big decisions to make. All really depends on how much patience we want to show. But that'll do it for this one. Bit of a slower pace to this episode for sure, but hey, I mean, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's kind of what we do here. It's like, hey, here's every choice, every action. You get to see it all. Judge me for it. Give your input on all of it. You know how it works at this point. I thank you all for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. Stay safe. And of course, you know the deal. Support the video. Support the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.